The Titans are hosting the Chiefs this week, just 6 days after a great Monday night game. 7 lead changes, only the second time in Monday Night Football history, and the Titans prevented what would have been the 8th lead change by stoning the Bills on 4th and short. Chiefs come to town. Chiefs are desperate, Peter, and the question in my mind, and when you look at what Derrick Henry's doing, he had a slow week 1. Since then, he's been phenomenal. He's on pace for 2,200 rushing yards. Having a 17th game helps. Do we think the Chiefs can slow him down?
Absolutely not. Are you crazy? I mean, this is the great example of the, how the force meets the resisting object or whatever the cliche is. This is a case where Derrick Henry, the hottest running back in recent NFL history, is going up against a team allowing over 5 yards a carry. And look, if this would be a pretty easy game plan to me if I were the Tennessee Titans. And that is essentially just keep the clock running. Keep the ball away from Patrick Mahomes and possess it for 37 minutes and give Derrick Henry 32 carries, give him his 168 yards, and just keep the clock moving. And that's how I think Tennessee's going to play this game.
You know, in the 2019 AFC Championship, when Derrick Henry was on an epic tear, the Chiefs did find a way to slow him down. I don't think the Chiefs' defense is as good as it was then. They may get Chris Jones back this weekend. He's been limited in practice so far this week. But their defense, as of last week, was averaging 7.1 yards per play allowed. But they are getting desperate. And the offense woke up last week against Washington. Then again, the Washington defense isn't what we thought it was going to be. But the Chiefs, look, they're in the similar situation as the Browns. 3-3. You get to 4 losses before Halloween. You got a problem. You got a real problem. And it seems inconceivable to think of the Chiefs not making the playoffs with Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. But if they lose this one, you have to start thinking about the possibility that they're not going to get one of the 7 spots. Maybe they find a way late in the season to thread a needle or two and get the 7th seed. And I think they'd be very dangerous in the postseason if they did, because then they'd have that nobody believes in us against the world, and teams aren't viewing them as this special organization that can't be beaten. But that may be their path, Peter, if they don't win this one. And the Titans, how it changed our view of them. This is a team that lost to the Jets, for crying out loud. How it changed our view of them that they were able to beat the Bills.
Mike, I don't know what the NBC Sunday night game is in Week 17. That's January 2. I was looking at this week. Can you imagine if Kansas City at Cincinnati in Week 17 gets flexed to Sunday Night Football, and the winner of that game makes the playoffs? The winner of that game in ice-cold Cincinnati on January 2 makes the playoffs, and the other team goes home. I mean, it's possible. It's very possible. Based on what we see now, the Bengals are rising. Look, I know that there's a lot of things to talk about this week, but in my opinion, I think the Kansas City Chiefs are on the precipice right now, Mike. They are really on the precipice, because if you look at their schedule down the stretch, I mean, there's so many games that are going to be hard for them to win. And with all the games that are going to be hard for them to win, they need to win some of those games, like this Sunday, to show themselves and to show the rest of the league that they're still a playoff team and they're still capable of being a prime Super Bowl contender. Right now, it's very iffy that they are.
And you used the perfect word there, themselves. They need to prove it to themselves. I feel like they've lost that swagger. They've lost that magic, that quality that made you think, they're going to be looking for the gas pedal for a while, and then they're going to find it, and they're going to score 28 points in a quarter, and it's over. I feel like they've lost that. I feel like Patrick Mahomes at times is pressing too much to make it happen. Maybe to the detriment of the team at this point. The defense isn't helping matters, and they've had that bubble burst. How long ago was it they're talking about winning 6 or 7 Super Bowls? Anytime a team ever says that, that's when the head coach needs to, what was the thing Sean Payton did with Greg Williams? A glass of sand or a bag of crackers. Get them to stop talking, because it is very difficult to win one. And we saw how hard it was for them to get to number 2. They couldn't get number 2. They are a marked team, and they continue to be a marked team, and they're not as good as they were last year or the year before, and they've got to get it together.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.